Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. You walk outside your house. The streets are silent. No cars. No voices. No lights. No people. You knock on your neighbor's door. No answer. You check another house. Empty. Then another. Empty. Within minutes, you realize something impossible has happened. Everyone is gone. Every single person. Without a trace. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating history stories. Because today's mystery involves an entire village that appears to have vanished almost overnight. And even today, nobody knows exactly why. Our story begins in the cold northern region of Canada, far from major cities, far from crowded highways. In a remote area surrounded by forests and wilderness, there once stood a small Inuit village known as Angikuni. Life there was simple. Families hunted. Children played. People survived together in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Travelers occasionally passed through the area, and according to one famous story, everything seemed normal. Until one day, a fur trapper named Joe LaBelle arrived near the village. He had visited the area before. He knew the people. He expected to see smoke rising from homes. He expected to hear voices. But something felt wrong. The village was silent. Completely silent. As he got closer, the feeling became even stranger. No people were outside. No children were running around. No hunters were returning home. Nobody. At first, he assumed the villagers were away. But when he entered the settlement, he made a shocking discovery. The homes were empty. Every single one. According to the story, meals had been left unfinished. Personal belongings remained inside. Supplies had not been taken. It looked as though people had simply stood up and vanished. But the mystery didn't end there. According to later reports, something even stranger was discovered. Several boats belonging to the villagers were still near the shore. If the entire community had left together, why would they leave behind equipment essential for survival? And if they had been forced to flee, where were the tracks? Where were the signs of panic? Investigators expected answers. Instead, they found almost nothing. And that made the story even more unsettling. Because in most disappearances, there is at least some clue. A trail. A mistake. Something. But here, nothing. Just silence. And according to the legend, even the dogs were gone. No signs of a struggle. No signs of an attack. No signs that anyone had packed up and left. Imagine standing there, in the freezing cold, surrounded by empty homes, knowing that only days earlier, this place had supposedly been full of life. Joe LaBelle was terrified. He quickly reported what he had seen, and soon the story began spreading. As the years passed, the mystery grew. Some versions of the story became even stranger. They claimed that nearby graves had been opened. Others claimed mysterious lights had been seen in the sky before the disappearance. Some even suggested that something supernatural had occurred, an event beyond human understanding. The story captured people's imagination. Newspapers published articles. Writers repeated the tale. And before long, the mystery of the vanished village became famous around the world. But here's where things get interesting. When historians began investigating the story decades later, problems started to appear. A lot of problems. Researchers searched for official records, police reports, government documents, newspaper archives, anything that could confirm the event. But evidence was surprisingly difficult to find. Some investigators claimed there was no proof that the disappearance happened exactly as described. Others argued that the story had been exaggerated over time. And suddenly, a new mystery emerged. If the village never disappeared, then why did so many people believe it did? Could the entire story have grown from a misunderstanding? Or was there some truth hidden beneath decades of rumors? Years later, another theory appeared. Some researchers suggested that the villagers may have relocated. After all, life in the Arctic was incredibly difficult. Food shortages happened. Weather conditions changed rapidly. At first glance, this explanation seemed reasonable. But there was a problem. If the villagers simply moved, why did the story become so dramatic? Why did witnesses describe abandoned homes? Why did newspapers continue repeating the disappearance narrative? The questions kept growing. Then came another theory, one that pushed the mystery into even stranger territory. Some people began connecting the story to unusual lights reportedly seen in the sky, bright objects, unexplained movements, things observers claimed they couldn't identify. Over time, these reports fueled speculation. Maybe there was a natural explanation. Maybe there wasn't. But every new theory added another layer to the mystery, and every layer made the story harder to forget. But the mystery became even stranger as the years passed. People weren't just searching for answers anymore. Anything that could prove what really happened. Expeditions visited the area. Researchers interviewed locals. Historians compared different versions of the story. Yet every investigation seemed to create even more questions. Some reports described the village as completely abandoned. Others suggested only part of the story was true. And that's where things became confusing. Because once a mystery captures the public imagination, facts and legends often become mixed together. A small detail becomes a rumor. A rumor becomes a story. And eventually, a story becomes a legend. Could that be what happened here? Or was there a real event hidden beneath decades of exaggeration? Nobody knew for sure. Then another possibility emerged. What if the mystery survived precisely because nobody could verify it? Think about it. If a disappearance is solved, people eventually stop talking about it. But if questions remain unanswered, generation after generation keeps returning to it, looking for clues, looking for evidence, looking for the missing piece of the puzzle. And perhaps that's exactly what happened with Angikuni. A mystery that became larger than the event itself. A story that refused to disappear. This is where the debate continues today. Some researchers believe the story was largely fictional. A sensational tale that became more dramatic each time it was retold. Others believe a real event occurred. Perhaps not a complete disappearance, but something unusual enough to inspire the legend. And that's what makes this mystery so fascinating. Because even if parts of the story aren't true, nobody can fully explain how it became one of the most famous disappearance legends in history. Think about it. For generations, people have repeated the same chilling image. An entire village, completely empty, no warning, no explanation, whether it happened exactly that way or not. The idea itself is terrifying, because it touches one of humanity's oldest fears. The fear of people simply disappearing. No answers, no clues, no goodbye. And that's why the story refuses to die. Even now, more than a century later, people still debate what really happened. Was it a true mystery? A misunderstood event? Or one of the greatest legends ever told? Maybe we'll never know. But perhaps the most fascinating part of this mystery isn't what happened. It's why people are still talking about it, more than a century later. Because deep down, everyone asks the same question. What would you do if you arrived somewhere that should be full of life and found absolutely nobody there? No explanation, no warning, no trace, just silence. A silence so complete that it turns an ordinary place into a mystery. Because sometimes the unknown is more powerful than the truth itself. As long as the questions remain unanswered, the mystery will continue to survive, hidden somewhere between history and legend, waiting for someone to uncover the truth. So what do you think? Did an entire village really disappear overnight? Or did a simple story grow into one of history's greatest mysteries? Let me know in the comments. And remember, sometimes the most frightening mysteries aren't the ones we can explain. They're the ones that leave us with questions and no answers.